Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Tuesday, March the 6th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. If you have any questions for me, you can use this email address. This is the address or the link to get into the free trading room. You heard it right. It is a free room. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas to participate in our room. You don't have to give us a credit card or anything. We just send you an email. Fill out the form, send you an email, create a password, and that's it. This is a link for a subscription to Trade Ideas for an instant 15% off savings. I open the room just around 9 o'clock Eastern Time. That's when I start to share my screen. I get live on the mic at about 9:05. I go to 3:30 on Mondays to Thursdays and 3 o'clock on Fridays. All right, well, I say this is like a broken record, but another exciting day in the trading room. Yesterday we didn't have very many earnings plays, but as I said yesterday, don't be surprised if you see this particular window that I've got here. I think yesterday I only had about three. This is all full. I only like to see about the top four anyway. But this window and the short list was also full. Many more earnings plays. I'm sure today is Tuesday. We'll see them Wednesday and Thursday also. Anyway, Sienna was an earnings play. Now, if you've been in the room, you know that typically I do not like to take trades in the first 15 minutes. I like to see the market settle down just a little bit. And my usual exception are some of the smaller ones, which usually in the first 15 minutes is all they've got. So unless you're in the first 15, you probably are going to miss the big move. But some of the more expensive ones, I find they whip up and down. And so I usually give them time to settle down. This is a long-winded way of saying I didn't do this with Sienna. I actually took this trade right here. Now, one of the reasons I did that is here's the pre-market action, all right? So you can see how it accelerated up, little topping tail right there, and then there's where it closed in the pre-market, and then when the market opened, it whipped up. Now, this is an earnings play. So I thought, okay, this is going to be active all day, obviously. It's an earnings play. It's a no-win stock. Let me just type it in again. I want to see how many... Yeah, I mean, it's traded 13 million shares. The other thing, too, is that it's 139 million shares in the float. You know that a lot of times what we're looking for are the low float stocks, less than, say, 20 million in the float. That is basically the supply. Those are the ones, of course, that can be extremely whippy. So with 139 million in the float, probably a little less frantic. So that also gave me a little more confidence that I could take this trade a little bit earlier than I would normally do. The other thing is when I looked at the daily chart, you have to back it up a little bit, and you can see that it had some room up to this area, all right? So I said, okay, it's an earnings play. It has some room on the daily chart, and the float was large enough, so it probably won't be quite as frantic as some of the lower float situations. So anyway, that's why I took it. Anyway, it worked out extremely well. Got into the trade right here at 25.11. Sold, let's see, 24. Well, I always sell some. Actually, I sold some fairly quickly just in case, because that old thing of mine, not wanting, in case it just whip right down. So I sold just a little bit here, right around 25.26. I think it was actually 25.23. And then it just kept going. So bottom line is I did get $1. I sold some at 26.23. Just up in this area here. Having trouble moving my marker up. Just up in this area here. So that was a little over $1. And then on the way down through 25.97. That was my last sell right there, approximately right there. So worked out extremely well. For a quick early trade, you love the nice pops and sort of set the tone for the balance of the day. Now this is one that I'm still sort of interested in, but it's a difficult one. I find it very difficult to trade. I was in this one yesterday. Took a little loss on it. This is a marijuana play. It's a Canadian company. I think they renamed themselves, so that's why when you look at the daily chart, it almost looks like an IPO. It started right here. But basically, it's a renaming. And I did get whipped out of it yesterday. And I said, okay, though, let's see if it can hold 10 today. And I saw this in the pre-market, looked like it was trying to hold 10. So I took the trade, got into the trade at 10:22. Again, sort of an early trade for me. But the marijuana index was also moving up. If you don't know what that is, it's MJ. And you can see at that time it was moving up. So I thought, okay, let's take this one. So I took it right here at 10:23. Because it was so whippy and I was worried about that whip, I sold some almost immediately at 10:35. It was a heck of a good fill. And then it came right back down. Then I took a little loss. Got out the balance at 10:18. Just sort of whipping around too much for me. So, I will keep an eye on it tomorrow, see if it can really leave 10 behind. But it's so beholden to that to the marijuana sector, to the sector, that it's not trading on its own. So, you definitely have to watch it like that. And let's see, what else did we do? BZUN was a very popular one in the room this morning. Earnings play. Look at the gap in the pre-market. That tan area right there is the pre-market. Now this is one I did not take. It was an earnings play. I did not take it on this. I guess I should have. I could have done the same thing that I had done with Sienna, but I guess I didn't want to press press my luck on taking something so early. But eventually I did get into the trade at 44, just over 44. Right about here. So it pulled back, and I got into the trade right here, and it moved all the way up to 45. I'd like to say I did get out some at it was 44.73 and 44.68. It started to whip around. Now look at it. And I actually said to the group just before I started this, watch this on the 45 break, and there it is. So it is still a monster, and it is a lifetime high for BZUN. I have to watch this one tomorrow. But yes, so I did take some out here at where are my two sells at 44.78 and 44.68. So basically kind of up in this area here. Obviously missed the big move, but most of the time, as I say, I don't like to take. I don't like to take these just in case some of these can be very, very whippy. Just one moment, please. Okay, so I was out of that one. This one, I did get knocked out of it. I still like it. Let me close this down. I still do like this one. This is something that I was watching earlier on. And let's take a look at the daily chart. You'll see why. When I say earlier on, this was actually last week. I think I was in this one last week. I'd set an alert. I was waiting for this break right there. Look left. Again, people ask me, well, what do I mean looking left? Well, look left on a daily chart. You don't see any resistance, maybe to that area and maybe up to that area. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but this is what we want to. This is what we want to see. Absolutely want to see on a daily chart if you're going to get into a potential swing trade. So I actually took this this one. Let's get me back to the 15-minute. Took this one right. Where was it at 5:28? Right about here. Took it right here. Now, it had a nice little pop. I resisted selling any. Then as it came down, I decided, okay, I'm not, this could go all the way back down to 5. So I thought I would just take it out. I took a 9-cent, was it a 9-cent? Yeah, I took a 9-cent loss on this. Sold it at 5.19. Just basically the low right there. As it, well, not quite, the low right there. And got out of the trade. I will take a look at it later on. If it gets back up to the high of the day, it still is a swing trade candidate. I did actually swing this one from yesterday. CHGG, I got into this one right here. I have sold some. Sold some just underneath the whole number break. I still own some. See if it can. This is again a high, lifetime high. Oh well, this was a lifetime high up here. So we'll still have to see what happens with this one. One I'm still in is ECYT. A lot of trades today. ECYT, great break on that on 7, and took the trade. Again, this is one that of course was was we were all watching this one earlier on. I mean, it had such an incredible day this day. So this was something that was in my watch list. So when it broke 7, what did I get in? I got in at 7:10. Right here at 7:10. I have sold some at 7:26, and we'll see whether or not this can keep moving. Sold some right here around 7:26. That was very, very quick. That was a nice quick trade. Again, if you take a look at it on the daily chart, I think we're going to see, yeah, I'd have to go way, way, way back. I'm not even sure where there's any resistance, but that's what you love to see. All right, everybody, I want to get back into the room, so I'm going to shut down the my chart right now. Bring back my capture program. And again, if you have any questions for me, this is the email address you can use. This is the link for the free trading room. This is a subscription link for a instant 15%. There's a promo code there for an instant 15% off. That's on an annual subscription. If you go month to month, the 15% off is good for the first month only. Okay, just so you know, first month only. I'll open the room tomorrow at around 9 o'clock Eastern time. That's when I start to share my screen. I get live on the mic at about 9:05. So everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you in the trading room tomorrow. Bye-bye.